right, so today's video, we're watching a video that I've seen a few people react to recently, and I heard it was a good one here. It's called Your Attention Span is Ruined in Gaming. And this is from Juniper Dev, which will have all the links here in the description. Remember, during reacts, we pause a lot, so kind of get you know, talk about what's going on. So yeah, make sure to check out the link, like Juniper's video, all that, and yeah, we'll go from there and see what this is. I'm curious to see what it is. Listen, my attention span's perfect, okay? What was that? No, my attention span's perfect. Okay, here we go. Starting now.
Another year of college is over, guys, so I came home jolly as can be. I waddled over to my bedroom. I booted up a game that I'd been waiting forever to play. And
What is that game?
Was bored within the first.
Wait, I need to pause for a second. What is that game? That kind of looked like a... Is that like a Metroidvania style?
5 minutes. But this isn't a boring game at all. It's a beloved game. I'm constantly hearing about how fun it is and how beautiful it is. So I can say with full confidence that this is a me problem. This is literally an attention span skill issue. Because well-designed games are not built to cater to a short attention span. They aren't built for constant
Animal
novelty.
Well?
They're built
Oh,
to reward curiosity and patience and perseverance.
That sounds cool,
of course,
actually.
There still needs to be reward, and we need to feel incentivized to keep playing, but in a way that complements our psychology, not manipulate it. See, a well-designed game is able to build just enough resistance and slow things down enough to keep you curious, but not so much so to where even someone with a healthy attention span would get bored. I think of it as like a friction zone, and removing that—
Okay, it's gonna be a random pause here. It's gonna, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna segue a little bit from that. What are people's thoughts on like time-gated stuff sometimes? Like, you know how like when you play like an MMO, like you get limited to like that week and that's it? You can't like push past that? I've always wondered like where games go with that, like with time-gated stuff, right? Where like you'll have a game that will be like, we're gonna just that's it. Because it happens to me sometimes like in MMOs and I'm just like, damn, like I would keep going here, but like I just feel like I can't, I don't know. I guess the big thing is it depends on the game, as you're saying, but like at the same time, like I know that whenever I've done that, I'm just like, oh man, like I have to wait till next week for that. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I have that sometimes in MMOs, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like, I can't go any more on my gear. I gotta wait till next whatever day it is. But again, every game obviously is gonna be different on that one, so I'm actually kind of curious on that one. If people have like thoughts on how that stuff goes, can you pay to progress faster? The one I play, no. But yeah, anyway.
friction zone is the objective of literally every other type of media in our lives right now. We're talking streaming platforms, social media, because the job is simple. Keep you watching. That means friction is the enemy, because it's a risk. It's something that gives you a reason to potentially stop staring at your screen like a monkey. So instead, we're given an infinite scroll. Bright colors, loud hooks, the algorithm rewards things that can entertain you for as long as possible. But games don't care. It's considered good game design when a game doesn't.
Great game, by the way. That's what I pointed out. Hollow Knight, great game. And isn't Silk Song actually finally soon?
Dump you with all the player's abilities at the start. Delayed gratification, right? You have to go and explore, you have to unlock things over time. The same goes for well-designed and well-paced tutorials.
I never played this game.
Tutorials don't throw everything immediately in your hands.
I remember when everybody played it.
They slowly and intentionally show instead of tell so that you can go experiment and oftentimes observe and mirror something in your environment. You could also look at the design that goes into level design, or more broadly, level progression. The first world in any Super Mario game is usually pretty easy, but the further you go, the harder it gets and the more rewarding the challenge becomes and the more fun it feels. After a certain point, you're given twists on old mechanics, and you have to combine things in ways that you haven't before.
Which I like that.
That kind of design requires pacing, and pacing respects the player's ability to learn and grow.
And get better
at
it.
It doesn't demand your attention because it can't. That would make it an objectively bad game by any design metric. That's what I'm saying makes games so powerful as a medium in today's day and age, where attention is everything. That's why I think games are a practice of attention and why they can actually improve your attention span. Because after 20 minutes of playing Animal Well, I wasn't still playing because my attention was being constantly fought for, but because the experience was genuinely immersive and thought-provoking and brave enough to slow down. Because the modern internet wants you distracted, and tracked, and monetized. Which is why I'd like to introduce you to my friend here, NordVPN, today's sponsor. Isn't she beautiful?
Listen, I gotta say, and obviously I'm a bit biased, but if you haven't noticed a lot of my ads recently I make sure to make them fun. That's the way to do it, where you like segue it into like a you segue it into a part of it and make it like, and I noticed that recently because I obviously when you scroll through like, you know, like say Instagram, for example, or YouTube Shorts, since we're watching YouTube, is like, you'll see these ads that are like, they make them fun in comparison to like, where it's just like, here are my talking points. So I love when I get like that creative freedom to do like fun things with that, to where like, instead of where it's very, you know, obviously sometimes like the companies will prefer if you just do it like this. It's like, okay. But I definitely prefer the more like fun you can have with it. Anyway, sorry.
She's actually my virtual bodyguard because what she does is she takes my location and then gaslights my browser into thinking that I'm actually
it's the
somewhere
VPN.
else in the world. I can choose anywhere in the world, but I'm going to choose Paris, France. Now I can't be tracked, I have an extra layer of protection, and I'm able to access media like shows and movies that aren't available in my home country. NordVPN can also protect you from scams online. It's not just a VPN.
I love how I talk about Silksong and then literally Googling when is Silksong coming out. See? I got the script.
Okay, she's not like the other girls. She comes with something called Threat Protection Pro. That's gonna protect me against malware hosting websites, make sure I don't download anything bad, and periodically check to make sure my private data isn't just chilling out there in the open.
Do I remember
online.
Flappy Bird? I remember when like it was up and then it was
I'm smart
gone.
enough to be able to tell if something's probably a scam. Except the one time I didn't before I had NordVPN, and that's literally all it takes. Scams are getting smarter and smarter nowadays, especially with AI, yuck. So it's nice to have an extra layer of defense and some peace of mind. Go to nordvpn.com/juniperdev to get a 2-year plan and 4 extra months at a huge discount. And that's risk-free with Nord's 30-day guarantee. That is nordvpn.com/juniperdev. So NordVPN.
I will admit, I got to step up my ad game. I'm just saying. Whenever I have my stuff now, I got to step it up. That was a seamless sequence between the video and the ad.
Will help you stay sane online, and so will puzzle games, which I really want to talk about in regards to attention span.
Lonnie's been playing Blueprints.
One of the most engaging ways to retrain your brain because they require active, conscious thought and stillness. You got to be able to sit and think because you are thinking critically, you're experimenting, maybe working with other people. And when you solve whatever level or puzzle you're working on, you feel proud at your own focus and effort. You practiced a skill and you saw the fruit of it. You're not rewarded for consuming, but for thinking, for using that little noggin, no matter how small it is. That wouldn't work if you got instant answers. Literally, puzzle games that are too easy are not fun for anyone. Except for maybe me, because they make me feel smart. Some of my
That's fair. I actually have a puzzle game story. So I was playing Resident Evil, and it was actually really cool at the time. This is a little bit of a side story here. I was playing Resident Evil, and Resident Evil is very much about like puzzles and things like that. And yeah, you're asking if Lonnie likes Blueprints? Oh, she's been loving it. I can't watch it because I want to play it one day, so like I don't want to spoil it. But so I was playing Resident Evil, and I was and one thing that's cool about Resident Evil is when you get the puzzles, right? So we were playing. I think it was it Village at the time? I think it was Village. And it was cool because we had one of like the more popular puzzle YouTubers in the chat at the time. They were watching it, and I was working on this puzzle for an hour. It was great. You're like, what's the part of the story that's a little bit like off here? Like, why are you telling us this story? It wasn't a puzzle. I was doing there was no puzzle. I thought I was doing a puzzle. There was no puzzle. I sat there for an hour doing something that wasn't a puzzle. I thought I was doing a puzzle the whole time. Come to find out, I was doing absolutely nothing. I just need to tell that story. Anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty good at puzzles. All right, let's continue on.
Favorite memories involve playing through co-op puzzle games with friends during COVID. We're talking Portal,
it was a puzzle.
Pico Park, We Were
Pico
Here,
Park?
Escape Simulator, heck, even chess, which I am abominably bad at, but
same. That's why I'm not good at Rhine.
Very bored whenever I'd play it, and not bored in a chess just isn't really my type of thing way, but in a oh my goodness, I'm playing this and I can feel my brain physically reaching for stimulation, even though I'm objectively enjoying what I'm doing type of way. So at one point, what I did was I moved the location of the Instagram app on my phone and replaced it with the chess app.
Okay.
So that way, anytime I went on my phone and I was in brain rot autopilot monkey mode, I would accidentally open the chess app instead of going to Instagram Reels. And whenever that would happen, I would start a game. So over time, I ended up cutting down on the amount of time I spent on short form media. And I actually really enjoy chess now, and I could literally feel the muscles of thought forming as I did this and slowly started realizing my own patterns. I still suck, and I'm still humbled every time I play against AI Mr. Beast. or XQC, God bless. But it's cool, and it goes to kind of show that you do sometimes have to take the active initiative.
I didn't know
in
chess had this.
retraining your brain sometimes.
I didn't know this was a thing.
It kind of takes effort, sadly enough, for me and maybe for you too, to play a new game for more than 5 minutes.
I want to get better at chess one day, but then like I also just know it's funny because I always say the thing is I don't know if my patience level, and that I guess this video was geared towards what I'm talking about. I like the idea. Like I like the idea of being good at chess. I think it'd just be fun. Maybe one day I'll do like a chess like in between cues or something. I don't know. Learn how to get better at it.
Because subconsciously, it's a risk. We don't know if we're gonna get the same amount of dopamine from this new uncharted territory of a video game than we do from social
move open.
media.
That could be fun.
All you know is that in this immediate second, when you pick up this game, you don't feel that. So give up. But if you can troop it out and you can retrain your silly monkey brain, then you will get some of the most rewarding and fulfilling experiences possible. That's the case for most games, puzzle games, like I said, and also narrative games. Just instead of trying to get portals in the right spot or fumbling around getting blocks in the right place, you're piecing together a story. And that requires active attention. You have to read, you have to remember, the bar's on the floor if it's not clear enough. But you have to care and you have to pay attention.
You have to read and remember. All right. Listen, I like how she's like, yeah, the bar's on the... That's great.
Attention to the subtle details. And then behold, you get some of the most emotionally rich and nuanced experiences that gaming can offer. Think about Disco Elysium, which, for the record, I still have not played.
I haven't played it either.
But I do know a good bit about it.
I know nothing about it.
There's no combat in this game, exactly. There's no flashy sequences of fighting or action, but it's a lot of well put together and creative dialogue. Dialogue that branches in wildly different directions depending on what you remember and what you actively choose to store in your brain. It's not something that you can just mindlessly scroll through or like half pay attention to. And the more you invest your attention, the more it gives back to you and the more fulfilling the experience is. That's really what this all so far boils down to. Focus. Games demand focus in a way that is so beautiful.
I never finished that game, the cat game.
Everything else in our lives. Because you're not just watching something happen, you're actively responding to an environment. You're interacting with a system. You're learning from your mistakes. You're immersing yourself in a world that you chose to put yourself in. You didn't just happen to passively scroll upon it. You're anticipating, you're growing, you're learning. You are holding the steering wheel.
Quick question. You said that Disco Asylum is one of the best gaming experiences ever. What's really good about it? I've never played it. That's kind of like, honestly, one of my first times hearing of it. I probably have heard about it like before, but I didn't like register it at that time. Like, what is cool about it?
And then eventually, the game ends. And that's important. That's big. Generally, good narrative games or puzzle games or anything, they reach a concrete ending. Because their goal is not to keep you there playing for as long as possible. They give you an emotionally resonant moment, they give you something to think about that probably changes the way you see something in the world, and they let you appreciate that and they send you on your way. It's so easy with everything else to just, like, check out. It's so easy to scroll endlessly through social media, genuinely forever. It's so easy to keep swiping and somehow watch the entirety of Game of Thrones on YouTube Shorts. But games don't let you do that. They might pull you in with, some pretty graphics, something engaging, something attention-grabbing, but the rest depends on your conscious active presence.
Isn't this a game you can play with, like, Twitch chat or something? Am I thinking of the right game? This is like the Lamb game, right? Am I thinking of the same one? Did you love this game? Do you? Yeah, I've never played it, but I've seen streamers play it sometimes. Like, in between queues, they, like, load it up or something. That makes sense. Did you don't finish games? Yeah, I will admit the point of, like, when you finish a game, I'll be honest with you, when I beat Subnautica, right? Just the feeling of beating that game after all of that, like, it was such a satisfying experience of, like, after all of that payoff, I was like, oh. Same thing with, like, Resident Evil Village. When I beat Resident Evil Village, I was excited, right? So it was just, I get that. I get what's being, it's great when you beat a game.
Look at older games where the whole game is active gameplay and you have to be focused the whole time to win. How something like Celeste builds up your tolerance for failure. How something like Animal Crossing teaches you how to show up consistently, how to slow down and notice small things. Games create space where attention feels natural again for so many people. They hand you systems and feedback loops and beautiful moments that you want to engage with. And in doing that, they have the ability to retrain your attention span. It still takes me a little longer than I'd care to admit to not become immediately bored 3 minutes into playing a new game, but I've started to see that feeling as a symptom rather than me or the game failing. It's me slowly detaching from the constant drip of stimulation that I've been spoon-fed for years. I don't think everyone sees video games this way, which is sad, but I get it. I have scrolled TikTok. I have seen those mobile game ads. I have seen the people who are hired to promote these games fighting for their life to make it sound even remotely interesting.
All right, I'm multiplying, which is great because I need to kill all these little red men, and there's more of me to do it. It's scoring points. Now there's a lot more of me, which is better to shoot all these tires. It's great.
Frankly, I never knew it was possible to reskin the exact same Endless Runner game so many different ways. It's amazing. Because these mobile games abandon objectively good and well-respected design practices in favor of catering to an attention span, which games are not meant to cater towards.
Now we're talking about Celeste. What is Celeste? I've never played that either. As you can tell, I need to open and expand my game library and play more stuff, which people want me to do. It's funny because like you always have this thing in streaming where people are like, yeah, variety, and like variety's cool, and like I love that. I love that sometimes we're in a spot where chat's like, dude, it would be really cool if you played a variety game. We done a good job with that, right? You know, we have so many there. It's cool. Please watch the trailer on it. It's really good. It's a very difficult 2D platformer game. He said if it's fine if you just play Overwatch, no bias. Thank you, Gavin. You're right. He said, I haven't played Disco Asylum, Celeste, or Cult of the Lamb. Do I have a backlog to work on? Oh, don't even get me started. I've never played Skyrim. I've played like, 2 bosses in Elden Ring. I have so many things I can do still. Very good platformer with beautiful art style. Heck yeah.
What you get is not a game. It's a product. At this point, your audience isn't even gamers because what you're making isn't optimized for depth, but for attention. And the metric for good games isn't attention.
Wow, that was a lot.
It's retention.
How did that happen?
There's a difference. These mobile games don't care if you enjoy your experience, really. They care that you opened the app, you watched an ad, maybe spent $5 and came back for your daily reward. And unfortunately, the bad eggs here really do infect society's whole notion of what gaming is. The most loud, the most visible and advertised examples of mobile games, which is also the biggest market for gaming globally, by the way, are these products. Not even games, they're products. It's sad, but it's completely logical.
You know what's crazy? I remember, this was years ago, obviously. What was crazy about... Well, was there a brief? I don't know if there was. It might have been a mobile version too of that, Gavin. I was looking through, but I kind of speaking of attention span, I might have not saw all the games. But I forgot what I was going to talk about. I had a whole point. I forgot. It's fitting right into the video title. Oh man. Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. I gotta move Instagram on my phone. Give me a second. What am I putting there instead? What I gotta put something there. Okay, my walk-in treadmill. Okay, I'll put that there instead of Instagram. All right, we're good. Woo!
Why so many people have a misunderstanding of what gaming is and what it's becoming. The entire term mobile gaming has been completely hijacked by these brain rot mobile games.
I remember now. I remember when I saw the monetization chart years ago. This was before Overwatch was free to play, etc. They showed like how much games made, and I remember seeing like I think it was Candy Crush at the time. Destroyed every game. Like I think it made like something crazy. It was like 7 times more than like Fortnite at the time. And this was like I remember I looked at this chart when Fortnite was still kind of in that like really like Fortnite's still extremely popular, but like during like that days. And I remember seeing that, and Candy Crush was just like it wasn't even close. Like it wasn't even close on what it was in comparison. It was crazy.
It used to mean, oh, portable gaming, that's really cool. Look at how we can condense the artistry and entertainment of games in such an accessible format. But now we get
20
this,
billion a day?
whatever
Oh, wow.
this is. But anyway, I'm not just worried because I think these games are infecting the societal view of gaming, but because I think they're setting a very dangerous trend for gaming. Right now, games are so great because they're not trying to satisfy your goldfish attention span. That's been like the whole point of the video, right? They're built in so many ways that do not cater to that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start to. My fear is that they'll start to design for the distracted player. Look at like auto combat systems in RPGs, for example. Instead of playing through a fight, you can click a button and then the system will do it for you and do the gameplay. So it kind of becomes a battle of stats and numbers rather than interaction and player choice. Systems like that aren't inherently bad, and I can't say that I know a ton about them, but they do ultimately distance games from what they are and what makes them unique as a medium, which is all about choice and thought and power.
Okay, this reminded me of a story. It has nothing to do with what was being talked about right now, or maybe it does. So I remember when I was about 10 years old. What was the Final Fantasy game that was around then? Was the one where like you were on the boat? I think I had like the Blitz one. Keep in mind, I haven't played a ton of Final Fantasy, so like I don't have like the vision. Was it Final Fantasy X? Yeah, there you go. I don't know why I remember this story. So I was over my friend's house at the time, and they're like, "Hey, like we're struggling on this part." It was like a mountain battle. I don't know if anybody has recollection of that in Final Fantasy X. And I'm like, okay. I don't really have experience in this. I'm like, I don't really have experience in this, and like that kind of like that turn-based like combat you would have. Did you know you can target yourself in Final Fantasy? Did you know you could do that? So my friends can't figure out the fight. They hand me the controller. Did you know you could do damage to yourself with that by targeting yourself or like your allies? Because let me tell you right now. It did not go well, and I think that was the only time I got a chance to try that. I had no clue. I just thought about that because I saw the auto battle, but it reminded me of like that like back and forth battle, like you know what I mean? Targeted myself, immediately fell over, and that was that. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm good at this game. I'm gonna watch. You know what? I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch you beat Final Fantasy X because that was not good. I had to tell that story before I forgot. Yes, that battle takes a long time. I remember that. Exactly. Yep, it had a lot of different scenes to it. Yep, we're talking about the same battle. Yep, that's what I did.
Or in focus. So it is kind of sad to see this, but I don't think we're screwed by any means. I've been a little bit pessimistic, but I don't think that the future of gaming is just gonna crash and burn. We still have a plethora of amazing, soul-filled games out there, and more that are being developed every day, that are gonna keep our monkey brains chugging along for at least a little bit longer. And your girl will finish Animal well, okay? Mark my words. That's all that I have to talk about today. It's a bit more serious, and I kind of locked in a little more than I usually do on these videos. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Heck yeah. Honestly, I like that video. What was really fun about that was that it was, and this is just credit to the video in general. The video was about attention span, and I was locked in for that whole video. Obviously, I paused a lot and talked about some things, but like, good video. Good like discussion points. Had that fun ad in between where like it segued well, but like it was just great all the way through from the beginning. So very well done. We'll make sure to have the video link in the description. So make sure to check out Juniper's channel. All of that, you know, give the video a like, etc., sub, all that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that. And if you have any other videos you want us to react to, the Discords, we can submit those. And hope you all have an amazing day /night.